This video is brought to you by Charter Oak Furniture, where we are proud of our past, grateful for those before us, and blessed to be part of your future. Welcome to another Charter Oak Furniture video. This video is for everyone who owns a boat. It is made to show you just how damaged underlaying wood and materials can get without you ever knowing there is a problem. What seems to be just another routine reupholstery project turns into a complete seat reconstruction. Please pay attention to how well the seats seem to be holding together when they entered the shop compared to what we find when we strip them down. Today's project are boat seats from a Formula Bowrider boat. In this video, I'll be using the old material for patterns on new material. I will be observing and making notes of the factory seams and construction, stripping down the old material, inspecting the underlaying and wood and foam. Then I will show marking the old fabric with labels and match-up lines, along with notes to assist in construction and sewing. Next, I'll show laying out your patterns on new material, and then I'll show you how I add a 1/2 inch seam allowance and add materials for fabric pulls. Then it's off to the sewing machine. Now it's time to make an all-new seat frame to replace the one that disintegrated. And finally, it's time to put the new cover on. So let's get started. Well, the next project in the shop is a boat project, boat seats. As you can tell, this bottom portion of the seat, I'll probably start at it, and then there'll be a back engine cover portion that will probably tackle next. So right now I'm just looking over this looks to be original. It's a Formula boat, and the seams are ripped out. The thread seems to still be holding. Material's pretty thick, that's good. But the bottom's falling apart. And this is, doesn't seem to be marine grade plywood at all. But they did use stainless steel staples, that's good. So I'll get these pulled out, and foam seems to be good from this point, so let's hope it's good. I'll get this stripped down and we'll take a better close look at it. Alright, just a quick once over with the video camera to show a good display of what we're working with here. As you can see with this piece of paper, I've drawn out a small sketch with all the measurements that I thought would be pertinent before I start stripping this down. And I just want to get a visual reference of what the factory has done. Well, the underside doesn't look good because of the rotted wood, but there's stainless steel staples, all one piece on this front. Actually, this is the back lip. This is the back lip. And we'll turn it around for the front lip. And see how the factory came around with that corner and made that into one little corner piece. So wood is so rotted out, these staples are just not even holding at all. Oh, this is so wet. This hadn't been on a boat in several weeks, and it's still just soaking wet. It's like it's refusing to dry out. That foam has blocked that moisture and not letting it go. But since I'm using the old material to use for a pattern, I definitely want to save as much seam as I can. That's something else. Ah, that was a mess. Look at all that wood just decayed and fell out of there. That's nuts. Must have soaking wet. I should be able to go ahead and take this off now. Okay, it's a fabric pull going between these two. Okay, give me a moment, I'll clean this mess up. Now I've just gone through and marked up some matching lines and labeling them. So when I make my patterns, I'll transfer them over. Alright, so the first thing I noticed was from the factory, these seam allowances that they have are not even anywhere close to a ½ inch. They're not even consistent. They go from an 1/8 inch all the way up to 3/4 sometimes. So the best way to pattern this out is forget about their seam allowance. Go right against the stitching, the old stitching of the piece, and make that my pattern line. Then I'll come back and add my seam allowance, which I'm sure will probably be ½ inch. Then on this side, this is where I'm going to have to put staple. This will be the actual pull, so I'll have to add myself probably 3 inches. I like 3 inches, just give them something to work with. Because what they did is they cut their fabric all the way down to the staple line, and of course it didn't hold. Some of them did not hold. So I don't know why they decided to trim it that short, because it's once it's on the wood itself, it's part of the seat. There's no reason to, and it's hidden, so there's no reason to trim it that short. That's just a fail from the factory. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this patterned out, and then we'll move on. All right, to add my ½ inch seam allowance, I've patterned this out straight against the seam, and then on my ruler I have a little ½ inch mark there, so I just line up my seam line and just go out a little bit to ½ inch and connect the dots. When it gets really a curve and such, I'll make the dots a little bit closer to follow around that curve. Well, straight away I can give myself a little bit more room to work with. On these long straight lines, I like to use this see-through acrylic ruler. Just line up a 1/2 inch mark. And it's done. Only issue is on boat seats, and we just don't have that many straight lines to work with. But that ruler is really nice to have whenever you have to do long lines instead of doing it with a small ruler at all times. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is sew on the fabric pulls. And that's what I'm doing right now. And my fabric pull line is matching up just fine. So when I get to the end, I want to do some back stitching. Let's take care of it. Now's a good time to check the stitching. Oh, I like it. Good tension. Try to check the tension on some scrap fabric before I got started. And next, we'll go to the next portion and sew on the back here. After the sewing is complete, all that's left now is stretching the new covers on the newly fabricated wood and attaching with stainless steel staples. This makes for another project completed, and now on to the next. Until next time, be blessed, and thanks again for watching. Thank you for watching this video. For more information about current projects, look us up on Facebook. And please visit our website at charterupfurniture.com, where you can contact us and see a wide list of services that we provide.